On Community Report today, we have a new member in our community, and he's the new owner and manager of WMGC. And welcome aboard. And how did you come about getting the name WMGC?
Well, Stan, it really was a process of elimination. My wife and 3 children began searching and trying to come up with different combinations. As you probably know, there are at least 8,000 call letters on radio and television stations in the country, and they start with either W or K. K is for west of the Mississippi and W for east of the Mississippi. When you try to find call letters that have some magic to them, indeed you find that they've already been selected. So it's a long process of elimination, and we're real pleased with it because we think there is some meaning to the call letters and that we may be able to use them for good promotional value.
What plans do you have? I know it's pretty early that you've been aboard as manager and owner about 3 weeks now. What can we look for in the future?
Well, there are quite a few things that we're planning on doing. Of course, the first thing is that we do have the call letter change. I want to begin, Stan, because to talk about the people, because without the people, we're going to have an awful lot of difficulty, and I have never found as many nice people to work with as I have with the right attitude towards work as we have here at WMGC TV. So I want to say that I'm pleased to be working with you and with everyone else on the team, and I really feel that we have an exceptional team here, and it's important that we do have the attitude towards work that everyone has here. Our first move, of course, beyond the call letters, was to get some programming that would attract a larger audience, and we did that, we think, with the shows Lucy and Gomer Pyle, Hogan's Heroes, shows of that type that we've just recently put on the air. We are going on, and we have some help now, outside help, looking at our equipment to make sure that the present equipment is finely attuned, to be sure that we can deliver as fine a picture as we can to our audience. Then we have ordered some equipment. We think, to serve the community better, both in news and public affairs and just total involvement in the community. So we have some equipment ordered that will help us to do that. It should be delivered within 30 days, and then will take us some time to become acquainted with it and be able to use it. Beyond that, I think we have to increase our staff here so that our news department would be a little more effective than it is in covering film stories or tape stories, and indeed covering the area and providing a fine service to the community here.
Speaking of the community here, your home is Greenwich, Connecticut?
Yes, I live in Greenwich.
How does Binghamton shape up now that you've been here for a while?
Well, I just love the work. I haven't had a chance to visit too many people yet. I have tried to get around as best I can. I've been working both day and night. I can tell you there isn't a lovelier spot in the country. As you fly in here, as I did last weekend, with the color of the leaves and the hills and the valleys, it's probably one of the most picturesque spots in the world. It's absolutely breathtaking right now. So it's a lovely area, and I look forward to a long and happy association here in Binghamton.
And you've seen quite a bit of the country in your work. Could you tell us some of the positions you've held prior to being owner of this station?
Well, let's just say that I've worked with a lot of people and helped a lot of them. I've been basically a cheerleader in the past, and I hope to continue to be a cheerleader for you, Stan, here in the news department.
Oh, I can use it a whole lot, I'll tell you that. Another thing I'd like to ask you is, in your opinion, why did ABC come up to #1 when they were always in the 3rd slot?
Well, ABC has had very good, primarily Fred Silverman, as everyone recognizes, has been the catalyst at ABC. And he certainly has had a rapport with the creative community in Hollywood, and he was able to persevere and continue a great line of communication, was able to select good product. and turned out with a very strong winning combination. It's going to take years to take it away from ABC as a result of Fred Silverman's good work.
Well, thanks very much. I know our audience has enjoyed meeting Philip Morella, the new owner and general manager of WMGC.
Good evening, I'm Bernard Fianti. WMGC TV is changing hands. Earlier today, it was announced that Citadel Communications will take over operations of this facility. WMGC TV has been owned by Philip Morella since 1978. Morella today said he has other interests he wishes to pursue, and that was the determining factor in his decision to sell the station. The new company, which will own the station, will be headed by Philip Lombardo, who now owns 3 other television stations. The purchase price will be $5 million. WMGC TV will be the 4th station in the Citadel Communications Group. Lombardo today affirmed his commitment to local news and indicated the new corporation will undertake new initiatives to enhance the current news and public affairs emphasis on Channel 34. Lombardo's comments carried strong implications of the commitment of further resources to local programming, local news, and to public affairs.
And finally tonight, WMGC TV is changing hands. Earlier today, it was announced that Citadel Communications will buy the Binghamton facility for $5 million. The FCC must still approve the sale, and that is expected to take several months. Philip Lombardo, seen here on your left, president of Citadel, owns 3 other stations. WMGC TV will be the 4th station in his group. His other stations are in Iowa, Buffalo, New York, and Vermont. WMGC TV has been owned by Philip Morella since 1978. He has indicated that he is selling to pursue other interests. Morella chose Lombardo's group over a number of others because of their effective management skills, good track record, and their great sensitivity for service to the community. The new company will undertake initiatives to make the station more competitive and enhance the local news efforts and public affairs emphasis.
The latest in the world of sports. And up-to-the-minute weather.
Good evening, I'm Bernard Fianti.
I'm Roy Silva, and a group of Johnson City residents is petitioning the village to do something about the JC traffic circle.
3 women who live on Floral Avenue near the circle today presented Village Mayor Edward Bonsack with 1,200 signatures. The petition calls for changes in driving conditions at the circle. Bonsack says the petition is important because the more people who speak, the more we'll hear.
The residents collected so far about 1,200 signatures, and they'll be giving several hundred more to the board tomorrow night that aren't in yet. And those petitions, together with the things that we can do as a village board, I will be submitting a resolution to the board to accept the petitions and to join in as a village with what they're saying.
The women behind the drive, Christine Zilnick, Julie Adams, and Joyce Adams, say response to the project has been overwhelming.
There are a lot of people concerned about the circles with ideas, and it's not completed. The circle is not completed, and there was money that was there to have it completed, and the response is overwhelming. Everyone has a voice in it.
People from all over the southern tier, including Pennsylvania, have responded, Zilnick says. She says that's because the traffic is everyone's problem. Julie Adams says the work is already having an impact.
Well, we're seeing some changes today. You know, every day we see new things, and it's really nice. And we're hoping that we'll carry this all the way through to the end and see the circle changed.
Zilnick and Adams say they expect to gather at least 1,000 more signatures by the end of the week. Well, last week, SUNY Binghamton was drawing up final details for extra on-campus housing for students. This week, officials at Broome Community College are looking into getting some housing of their own. With more on this report, First News reporter David DeJean.
At least one thing's for sure. Where there are students, there are housing needs. Officials at Broome Community College say they want this need met. To do so, they are drawing together a feasibility study which will determine if student housing is necessary. Assistant to the BCC President, John J. Scaturo, says that housing programs at other community colleges have been successful in the past.
The community colleges in the State University of New York system have been able to build dormitories for various reasons over the last, say, 5 years or so. And as community colleges become regional colleges where we get a regional expertise in a particular field, like in this school it's the technologies and dental hygiene, students come to us from further and further away, and we need to have housing for these students.
Scaturo says the housing will be primarily for students from other counties, Pennsylvania, and foreign countries. Officials say the plan to build student housing is still in its preliminary stage. However, if all goes through, construction could begin on the college campus or right here on county-owned land directly adjacent to the campus. But before groundbreaking ceremonies begin, proof that there is a definite need for housing must exist.
I think that they'll be pitching to us. I think that once we finish the feasibility study, we're going to find that there's going to be need for perhaps as many as 200 students in housing here near campus. And I think that the bottom line will show that it will be a profitable venture to get into, and I think contractors will be coming to us and saying, we would like a shot at building this project for you.
David DeJohn, First News 34.
A group of Central American students will be getting a taste of life north of the border. The students will all attend Broome Community College and scholarship from the Central American Peace Project, one of the outcomes of the Reagan administration's task force on Central America. Today, a weary but happy group of Panamanian students was greeted by representatives of local and national leaders.
I know you've just arrived and you're only beginning to settle in. It can be very difficult and frustrating. But I also know from personal experience that the people of this community wish you well and will do everything they can to make the time you spend here an experience you will remember with fond memories.
It's our desire that you will help us, and that as you are students here at Broome Community College, and that as you are members of this community, that you can help us have a better understanding of you and a better understanding of your country.
The students were anxious to try out their English. Several spoke to say they're happy to have the chance for an education in the States.
I feel I'm very excited, and that is this place is very nice.
BCC is one of 9 colleges in the nation participating in the program. The Panamanian students range in age from 18 to 26 and will be attending BCC from 1 to 3 years. The Broome County victim of a beating and an apparent burglary on Saturday is reported in satisfactory condition today at Wilson Hospital. 76-year-old Andrew Leonard of 609 Front Street, Sunrise Terrace, was originally listed as being in serious condition. Sheriff's deputies say Leonard was found in his home suffering from a severe beating. A deputy found Leonard assaulted after Leonard's nephew, Joseph Emmerich of West Shenango Road, town of Shenango, called authorities because he was unable to reach his uncle on the phone. Emmerich, police say, went to his uncle's home and called them when he noticed a broken window in the basement of the house. Deputies say it appears the burglary and assault took place around 11:30 Saturday morning. Approximately 23 million Americans are functionally illiterate, meaning they cannot read or write above the 4th grade level. About 13,500 of those Americans reside right here in Broome County. Today, Binghamton Mayor Juanita Crabb declared September Literacy Awareness Month in the city. She says everyone is touched by the problem.
No one is without knowing someone who is illiterate. I think it really hit home a couple months ago here in the City Hall when someone came in and asked for a job. I wrote down the person that they were to see and where they could find this person. They went out a couple steps, stopped, turned around and said to me, "I can't read this."
Members of local literacy action groups and representatives from ABC affiliate WMGC TV and public broadcast station WSKG outlined the purpose of the unfolding Project Plus.
What we want to impress on people through Plus is that it is never too late to learn to read. And it is a national tragedy, and it is unfortunately a hidden national tragedy. And that's the whole idea of Plus. is to get the word out about illiteracy.
Educators emphasize the need for people who are not literate to seek help. Next week, WMGC TV will present a series on the frustrations and some solutions to the illiteracy problem here in Broome County.
Good evening, Magic Valley, and welcome to another exciting week of Cash Call. I'm Bernadette, and I'd like to make one of you tonight's lucky Cash Call winners. No, it doesn't cost anything to play Cash Call, but you do have to keep your lines open in case I call you. And tonight's lucky Cash Call amount, oh boy, we just missed the $1,034 mark, but we do have $104.34 to give away. So please, keep your lines open. You could be tonight's Cash Call contestant.
Investigate before you decorate. Discount wall coverings, 99 Clinton Street, Binghamton. With over 600 patterns in stock, discount wall coverings offer savings of 30 to 70% off. All merchandise is first quality, never second, and new shipments arrive weekly. When ordering with any one of our 800 books, you'll always save 20% on all famous brands. Special fall sale now in progress with 30% off on selected books. Discount wall coverings, 99 Clinton Street, Binghamton, next door to Clinton Mill Ends. Investigate before you decorate. You'll be glad you did.
I had a message that our call did not go through, so I'm going to dial it again and see if we can get somebody on the line to start our week off with a Cash Call contestant and winner. So let's see what we can get. It sounds like the call's going through now. As you know, we have a 5-ring limit, and there's 2 rings so far, so let's hope they get to the phone. Oh, another message. The call cannot be completed as dialed. I followed the number exactly as it was given to me, so it must be some kind of phone system problem. I do apologize for that. Well, your chance to play Cash Call with us is coming up soon. And to increase your chances of being our Cash Call contestant, just send us a postcard. Cash Call 34, P.O. Box 813, Binghamton, New York 13902. Make sure you include your correct phone call on that postcard, please. Well, thank you for joining me on Cash Call this week. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. I know it will get better, and I'll look forward to seeing you then.
The pickups are built Ford tough. Well, my Ranger's a tough truck, all right, but it's also good looking. And buying it sure was easy. Got some rock-bottom financing and saved a few $100 more on extras. Power steering, free automatic transmission, and it's one truck that looks just as good at the Press Club as it does at the Hunt Club. Yeah, these Ford Rangers are tough, and picking out my favorite one was even tougher. But the rest, easy, thanks to that Ford dealer. Now I know what they mean when they say quality people, quality products. Go check it out.
When the Mets finally get around to clinching the NL Eastern Division, they're going to sip some of the coldest champagne in baseball history. It's been on ice for 4 days and counting after a 3-day sweep in Philadelphia against the Phillies. Yesterday, the sweep was finished by Kevin Gross. He did it with his bat here. The pitcher for the Phils hits this 2-run triple that Danny Heap can't get a hold of. 2 Phils come in to score. They were in the lead and in control for this whole game and this whole series. Kevin Gross then did it with his arm later in this ball game. Became only the 2nd pitcher all year to shut out the Mets. Phils take the Mets, a final yesterday of 6-0. Tonight, the Mets are in St. Louis. Well, I don't think that the Yankees have a realistic shot at catching the Red Sox 9 down with 19 games to go, but at least they're playing like they really do have a chance. Yesterday, they pounded Boston for the 2nd straight day, getting this hit by Don Mattingly, who was closing in on Wade Boggs for that AL East batting title. Drives in a couple here. He had 3 hits. Ricky Henderson also chipping in yesterday. This line drive homer gives the Yanks a 6-3 lead in the 4th inning. Danny Pascal was next, and the Yankee outfielder came up, followed that with a shot to right field for a homer. Yanks win it yesterday, look strong, take it by a final of 11-5. Tonight, they're home against Baltimore. Well, to football. Either Miami's defense is that bad or the Giants are that good. Whatever the reason, last week the Chargers rang up 50 points on Don Shula's defense. This past week against the Giants, only 7. Giants defense was tough. Picked off Dan Fouts 5 times yesterday, including 2 by Terry Kennard. As far as offense, they got the touchdown they needed from Phil Simms. This from 13 yards out hits Lionel Manuel with the score. Giants beat the Chargers 20-7. I mentioned the Dolphins. Now, they looked a little better yesterday. They beat up on the Colts. They got some help from their special teams yesterday. Watch rookie James Pruitt. Now, he drops the punt, drops it again, picks it up, then he's off to the races. 2 great moves, takes off down the middle, up straight through the middle, and he's gone for the touchdown. 71 yards for the score for the Pruitt, and that helped the Miami offense. As far as their defense was concerned, they hurt the Colts because the Colts not only lost the game, but lost quarterback Gary Huckabone. Watch him here. He picks up the fumble. Huckabone is off to the races down the sideline, but Lyle Blackwood is chasing him, and he's going to throw him to the turf with a vicious tackle. Huckabone had to leave the ball game, but as I said, the Dolphins held on to win 30-10. The Super Bowl last year, the Bears carried off both coach Mike Ditka and assistant Buddy Ryan. After yesterday's highly emotional Bears-Eagles game, they probably needed a stretcher to take the 2 of them off. The Bears and their fans were laughing it up before the game. Chicago more than a 2-touchdown favorite. Some players like McMahon remembered how good Buddy Ryan was to him, but he's in charge of the Eagles now, and yesterday he was trying to stop that man, Walter Payton, who had his 177 yards, putting him over 15,000 for his career, giving the Bears a 7-3 lead. But the Eagles hung tough in this one, thanks to that man, Ron Jaworski. Here he hits his favorite receiver, Mike Quick, on the sidelines. Quick takes it in for the score, tied the game up at 10. But then the Eagles, in the overtime, had some trouble with the first kickoff, fumbled the ball to the Bears, who drove right down the field. Kevin Butler, who had an awful day yesterday, connects here on the field goal. Bears win it 13-10. Now, 2 teams who could challenge the Bears, the 49ers and the Rams, met yesterday. Jeff Kemp started for the Niners. Great play here to Jerry Rice, who's going to drag the defender Irwin into the end zone for the touchdown from 66 yards, putting the Rams down at that point. But Steve Bartkowski drives his club back. This 35-yarder to Bobby Duckworth gets him to the 4-yard line. And then from there, Mike Lansford gets a field goal from 18 yards out. 16-13 final for the Rams. Now, Joe Montana was missing from the 49ers highlights yesterday, and he will be gone for the rest of the season and maybe more. Underwent surgery today in San Francisco to correct a ruptured disc. He suffered that injury in last week's game against Tampa Bay. It was a rollout play for Montana where he suffered the injury. Now, Montana, the doctors say only some other players have suffered this type of injury and have come back to play. Bill Walsh, the 49ers coach, says he hopes his team will survive.
The loss of any given player does not change our goals at all. We have an excellent football team, one that we take great pride in, and the loss of Montana or anyone else is not going to change our determination to have a highly successful season.
The doctors say they will know more on his condition by next week. That would really be a shame, a quality player like that to have to go out. But they say there is a chance of paralysis if he were to get hit in the wrong way, so he really needs a surgery.
Oh, absolutely a smart move, but boy, you really hate to see it, as
Yeah.
you say, Mike. Investors closed out the day with mixed readings for Wall Street as they kept a rally going for the 2nd straight day. Early this afternoon, though, it appeared the rally had collapsed of its own weight, but the market struggled back and was ahead at the close. One analyst said investors, burned by last week's sell-off, found a haven in blue chips. Trade was heavy today. At the close, declines led advances by about 70 issues, despite the overall move forward. Gold and silver both responded to the happenings on the New York Exchange by moving further ahead as well. These prices courtesy of the First Albany Corporation.
Well, after just a real super weekend, the clouds started rolling in today. I'll let you know how long it's going to last when we come back with the weathers. Stay with us.
Through the cold of winter, the Lennox Pulse Gas Furnace sends gentle heartbeats of quiet, even warmth throughout your home. With the Lennox Pulse, you know you have the best. No other furnace heats like it.
Hi, this is Franz Stachura and Larry Brights in the Fancher Appliance from Vestal, New York.
We at Fancher's thank you for your patronage over the last 40 years. Call us today for a free estimate, whether you're replacing your old equipment or converting to clean, efficient, dependable natural gas.
This is Roger Neal, Sports Director of WNDF 1290 Radio. We're starting something new on September the 15th called 1290 Sports Line. If you love sports, you'll love 1290 Sports Line, as we give you a chance to call in and talk sports with us. We'll have nationally known guests, area sports personalities, and open phone lines as well. Let's Talk Sports, Monday through Friday evenings, 6:20 until 7 on 1290 Sports Line on WNBF 1290. You can depend on us.
It's fall weather, Paula.
It certainly is. It's still summertime, though.
I know
right?
it is.
And the weekend
Yeah.
kind of felt that way with the sunshine and the nice warm temperatures for a change. But today we slipped right back down into some cool weather. At our high for the day right now, 57 degrees. We had a low this morning at 6:30 a.m. of 43. Records for this date, now that's summertime weather, 82 in 1958 and a record low of 38 in 1975. The humidity checks in, 64%. Winds are out of the southeast at 8. The barometer is going down at 30.12 inches. Around the state right now, there's some scattered showers from Syracuse straight back up north to around Watertown. Clouds throughout the region. Temperatures mostly in New York State in the 40s and the 50s. But take a look at New York City right now. They check in at 75. Big difference here in the temperatures. It's really not due to any system, though. They're usually a little warmer than us, but it's just really exaggerated right now. Let's take a look at the satellite map, see what's upstairs and moving around on that map. We see a lot of cloud coverage over the northeast. That's our weather for today and tomorrow, with some showers moving on in tonight. Out west, some scattered showers, a real disorganized low up there in the northwest, but it is bringing some scattered showers, but nothing too heavy. There's the big picture for you. So we're not the only ones, as you can see, with some clouds right now. Most of the nation has some clouds, some a little less than others. Right now, we're going to be getting more of it because this low-pressure system is going to be moving in our direction, and you can see what's behind it, more clouds and more rain. Tonight, we have about a 90% chance of some rain. It won't be real heavy, but and it won't last very long either because by tomorrow morning, it'll be moving out, and we'll be back to some clearing skies for the next couple of days, and that's the good news. Out west, again, we saw the cloud coverage out there on the satellite map. That translates into some scattered showers straight back out to the west coast. Back here tonight in the southern tier, we are looking for rain very likely tonight. Low about 45 this evening. Tomorrow, it'll be cloudy in the morning, but it will be gradual clearing throughout the day. And tomorrow afternoon, you could very well see some sunshine. And some high pressure will be moving into our region and start giving us some nice weather tomorrow afternoon straight through Thursday. And just in time for the weekend, we're back to the chance of rain. And the temperatures, however, will be a bit more mild. By the weekend, they'll be back up into the 70s. Tomorrow morning, look for some showers in the morning. But, Bernie, by the afternoon, it should be cleared out of here. So this is just about 24 hours of this cloudy stuff that we'll be having.
Sounds good. Clear and cool sounds good to me, Paula. Thank you. Still to come on First News 34, Broome Community College takes to the fairways to gather some money.
I expect a lot out of a new car. I want style, I want performance. So I compared the new Ford Taurus to some of the European sedans, like the Audi 5000S. Both had styling and luxury features like speed control, premium sound, and power equipment. But you know, the Taurus was $5,000 less than the Audi. I said, why spend the extra money? You can't beat the Motor Trend Car of the Year. My Ford dealer gave me a great value, a 3-year unlimited mileage powertrain warranty. Hey, that's quality people for you. When they've got quality products like Taurus at prices you can afford.
Pudgy's introduces the Stromboli. Get a large slice in a 12-ounce beverage, just $1.69, or order by the tray, a small 4-slice or a large 6-slice. Order one today at Pudgy's Pizza.
A major state teachers union is joining the fight against the growing problem of drug and alcohol abuse in classrooms. The New York State United Teachers today announced creation of a 2-hour workshop to help teachers identify students and also to help prevent teenage suicide. One of the spokesmen says in a particular school or district they will help and understand the warning signs for students with drug or alcohol problems.
Officials and representatives at Broome Community College are getting ready to tee up at the Binghamton Country Club. This year marks BCC's 40th anniversary. Alumni and students are getting ready to honor BCC coach Dick Baldwin. If Baldwin wins just 21 more basketball games, he'll be the winningest coach in basketball history. Well, if that wasn't enough to get a hole-in-one over, the third reason to hold the golf event is money raised at the event goes to the college for scholastic causes. That's our report for tonight. The ABC World News Tonight is next.
Steelers and Broncos at 9 o'clock. First News 34 follows the game. Thanks for joining us.
If you see news happening, call it as you see it. 723-7464. Get in touch with the news.
This is Good evening. In Paris today, there was another terrorist bombing. In Cuba, more than 100 political prisoners have suddenly been allowed to leave. And People Express has a buyer. We will have those and other stories tonight, but we are going to begin with the Reagan administration's latest initiative on drugs. Today, the president sent to Congress his ingredients for what he called last night a crusade against illegal drugs. And they do include a plan for testing federal employees. At the White House, ABC's Sam Donaldson.
4 days after the House of Representatives rushed through a tough anti-drug bill, President Reagan weighed in with his own proposals, signing an order requiring mandatory drug testing of many federal employees and advocating tough new penalties against drug pushers.
We're getting tough on drugs, and we mean business. To those who are thinking of using drugs, we say stop. And to those who are pushing drugs, we say beware.
Under the president's order, federal workers having access to sensitive information or in positions involving public safety will be subject to mandatory testing.
From an oil change to an engine change, Lechner's offers 24-hour towing service and will even give you a ride to your home or place of work while your car is being serviced. Where else but Lechner's can you get such quality service at such reasonable prices? Lechner's service.
Take a walk through Lynch Warehouse Floor Covering, 50 Prospect Avenue between Henry and Lewis Street, Binghamton. Bob Lynch brings over 35 years of knowledge and quality service to his floor covering business.
Hi, I'm Bob Lynch, and I carry only better quality merchandise, including only the finest carpet fibers. 15-foot material is also available.
Lynch Warehouse Floor Covering also has vinyl flooring, including Mannington and its famous Never Wax formula. Lynch Warehouse Floor Covering behind Little Venice on Prospect Avenue between Henry and Lewis Street, downtown Binghamton.
WMGC TV, Binghamton.
Bringing you the first in local, national, and world news. The latest in the world of sports. And up-to-the-minute weather.
Good evening, I'm Paula Gorell. Dense fog is being blamed for the early morning crash of a small plane carrying two local businessmen. Both 35-year-old Michael Palmatier of Binghamton and 43-year-old William Petzold of Appalachian were found dead this morning inside the wreckage of the twin-engine craft. The plane went down near Marathon in the town of Lapeer. State police responded to the scene after a resident reported hearing a low-flying plane over his home. The plane disappeared from radar at the Elmira Corning Airport, but fog forced searchers to wait until daylight to look for the wreckage. The plane was found crashed into a small hill. The two men killed were both car dealers returning from a business trip in South Carolina. The FAA is investigating that accident. Well, protecting passengers from fire and smoke during an airplane crisis was the focus of an emergency demonstration in England today. As we'll see in this report, measures are being taken to protect those on board from toxic fumes and gas.
Those who died in the Manchester crash did so within the first 2 minutes of the fire. It's been estimated that up to 50 of the deaths that morning might have been avoided if they'd been wearing smoke hoods. The hoods would have protected them from the lethal cocktail of fumes given off by burning kerosene, aircraft furnishings, and the plastic cabin lining.